Okay, welcome. We are going to get started this afternoon. We're going to take a slower practice given that the heat continues to build with these summer months. And so if you have some equipment nearby, go ahead and grab it. If you have blocks or bolsters or a cushion that you've been sitting on, feel free to grab that. And then I offer you two different options for how to have a seat. You can come like I am in Virasana and scoot that little prop underneath your butt, or you can sit cross-legged, or if there's a chair nearby, if you want to sit on your bed. Any and all of those are available for you. And so we're just going to allow ourselves to settle into the space this afternoon. Maybe that means that you have a soft gaze downward with your eyes, and if it's comfortable, maybe you even close your eyes. And you can allow yourself to maybe shift a bit here or there as you're finding that point of stillness. And then just starting to connect with your breath. Just noticing the pattern that comes naturally to you this afternoon. Inhaling that nourishing life force and exhaling, which no longer serves you. Just allowing that breath to fall wherever it falls today. Maybe you feel it in your belly. Maybe you feel it in your chest. Or maybe you feel it in your shoulders. And now that we've had a little bit of time here, just start to bring some attention and some intention to the breath. And so let's take an inhale together here for 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 3, 2. Fill that belly and exhale for 3, 2. Last breath out. Inhale at that same pattern, equal on the inhale and equal on the exhale. Let's bring the palms of our hands along our legs and just start to rub back and forth, inhaling your hands out to your knees, exhaling, drawing them back into the crease of your thighs. Inhale, stretching out, starting to tuck your chin and roll. And exhale as you bring them back, rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest and chin. Inhale, tucking the chin, taking your hands out to the knees. And exhale as you open, bringing them back. Nice. Continue like that. If that even inhale and exhale is too long or too short, adjust for whatever it feels right for your body. Maybe you hold back, open chest, open heart for a couple breaths. And then maybe you round, tucking your chin, expanding through the back body. Inhaling and exhaling here. Let's do that a couple more times, just warming up through the top body. And then the next time you complete a cycle, go ahead and stack your spine. Allow the palms of your hands to face down if you would like a little more grounding, or you can flip them up and open if you need a bit more energy today. And then on the next inhale, let's bring our hands up and over our head, interlacing, clasping the fingers, but releasing the pointer, looking up, lifting up. Maybe you imagine squeezing your elbows together. And then as you exhale, drop that right hand down to the side, pressing into the earth and allowing the left hand to come up and over, feeling that stretch along the left side of the body. Breathing here. Every inhale, you're lengthening up and over. And every exhale, you're grounding that left hip down into the earth. Make sure you have that bend in the right elbow. And then look down at your hands on the ground. And then look up at your hand in the sky. Just starting to warm up the neck. Looking up and down. And then let's gaze down at our fingertips on the earth. And then on the next inhale, bring that right hand up to meet the left, interlacing the fingers, releasing the pointer. And once again, inhaling at the top as you expand up. And then exhale, dropping that left hand down to the earth and allowing the right hand to stretch up and over. Sending breath into the right side of the body. Should feel, maybe it feels nice down at the point of the hip intersection. Maybe you feel it within the ribs. Today, I'm feeling that within my elbow down to my armpit area here along the triceps. And then maybe you gaze down at your fingertips on the earth, or you gaze up at the ones in the sky. Let's take the neck up and then take the neck down, stretching out this side of the neck. And then let's gaze down at our fingers on the earth. And on the next inhale, bring our hands back up overhead. And then exhale, releasing them down to the earth. On the next inhale, let's bring them up as a goalpost. And then exhale as we just turn over to the right side, allowing that left hand to come down to the outer right edge of the knee and extending that right arm back. Just have a nice, easy twist. Breathing here. Inhaling as we imagine our spine lifting, stacking up. And exhale, not forcing, but maybe twisting a little bit deeper. And then let's keep that twist, but turn our head to the front. And then maybe you glance over that left shoulder. And then on the inhale, bring our head back to center. And exhale, releasing that twist. Let's bring our hands back to goalpost. And then exhale as we turn over to the left, allowing the right hand to come to the outside of that left knee and dropping that left hand back behind us. Inhaling as we lengthen the spine. Exhale as we twist a little deeper. And really focus that twist on the spine, not the neck. The middle of the back, sending the breath there. And then on your next inhale, keep that twist. So bring your head back to center, facing me at the camera. And then maybe you glance over to the right shoulder, just noticing how it feels in the neck and the rest of the body. And then on your next inhale, just allow yourself to restack, head on spine. And let's inhale our arms up overhead once again. Exhale as we open them to the right. Inhale, bringing them up overhead. Exhale, open them to the left. Let's do that a couple more times. Once more on each side. Hands up overhead, and then bring your hands down alongside the body. On the next inhale, expanding, stacking the spine. And then once you're at the top, as you exhale, take that right ear to the right shoulder, feeling that stretch along the left side of the neck. And if it feels comfortable, maybe taking that right hand, just placing it on the top of the head, adding a little bit of weight, and then extending that left hand out to the side, inhaling as we bring it up, exhaling as we take it down. Couple more like that. And you're engaging throughout that left arm as well, too. It's not a floppy arm up and down. It's a nice, straight, purposeful arm. And then on your next inhale, allow the hand to drop back to the earth, the head to come up to center. And then we'll take on the next exhale, that left ear to the left elbow. Inhaling as we stretch the spine up, and exhaling as we allow the head to come over to the left. And explore on this side. Maybe you take your right or your left hand on top of your head, adding some of that weight. And then playing around with the movement of the right arm, feeling that stretch along the neck, down the arm, just a little differently. Inhale as you raise the arm up, and exhale as you bring it down to the earth. Couple more like this. And then when you reach the bottom, allow the hand to drop off the top of the head, coming back up into that straight, that neutral spine. And at this point, we're going to get that prop out from underneath us, and we're going to come into our tabletop position. So all of our 4 contacts points with the earth, our knees and our wrists, are stacked over top of our shoulders and our hips. And then just allow yourself to rock your hips back and forth here. Starting to send breath into those nice, heavy, stable bones and joints. And then I offer you the option to flip one of the palms upside down so that the fingertips are facing your knees. And then maybe rock back and forth here. If you have the sensitivities in your knees, feel free to grab a towel or a pillow and place it under your knees. And then let's flip that hand back around. And if you'd like, take to the other palm, flipping it up and down, rocking back and forth here. Feeling the stretch along the forearm, maybe even up into the biceps, the triceps. And then flip that palm back around. And let's turn the fingertips of both hands out to the side, rocking back and forth. Nice and gentle here. And then bring the hands back, fingertips facing forwards, and come back onto your haunches as if you're gonna move into a child's pose. And pick your hands up so that just the very base of the wrist, that little meaty part at the bottom of the joint, is on the ground. So your fingertips are all up in the air. And just spread them out nice and strong. And then clench those fists together. Spread them out nice and strong. And clench those fists together. And then maybe you drop your head down into a child's pose, continuing with the opening and then the fisting of your fingers. Sending breath both into the wrist and the palms, but not neglecting the back of the body in through the hip joints. And then allow all of the hand to make contact with the earth. Come up into your tabletop and then tuck the toes under. And on the next inhale, press away from the earth, allowing the knees to come up off of the ground. Just a little bit of a hover here. You're facing down that space between your thumbs. And then lower the knees down to the earth, coming back into a child's pose. Hands out, nice and strong, stretching out through the back body. Inhaling here and exhaling. Once more like that, inhaling. And exhaling. Next time we inhale, let's come through our tabletop, untucking our toes, and then lifting up into our downward facing dog. Since it is our first one together, I encourage you to bend through your knees, really allowing the back of the legs to warm up. Maybe you press out, walking one foot at a time, allowing that stretch to settle. Pressing away from the earth with your hands, nice strong bent knees. You're up on your tippy toes. And then maybe you work to figure out, how does my dog look today? Coming into a point of stillness. Nice. Breathing here. Inhaling, imagining that breath filling up the body. And exhaling, allowing the heels to drop down a little more. Once more like that, inhaling and exhale, pressing down the heels. And then let's walk our hands to the back of our mat, allowing ourselves to hang over. And then maybe you grab opposite elbows, releasing the neck, bending that knee once again, really allowing those back of legs, the lower back and hips to release. And from here, let's drop our hands down onto the earth so that the palms are fully planted on the mat. So that's going to mean most likely that your knees have a nice bend in them. And take your left palm into the middle of your feet and stretch up to the earth or to the sky with your right hand. You'll have a bend in that left knee likely. Inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next inhale, bring that right hand down to the earth. Inhale as you rise up, halfway lift for a nice flat back. Imagine as if you are a joint here. You have a nice, strong 90-degree angle. Inhaling, extending, lengthening the spine, and exhale, folding forward, bending the knees, planting your palms to the earth. And then this time, let's take that right hand into the middle of your feet. And then as you inhale, bring that left arm up overhead for a nice twist here. Inhaling, sending the breath into your shoulders. Maybe you feel this in your thighs. Maybe you feel it throughout your spine. Once more like that. Inhale and then exhale, planting both hands down to the earth, releasing through the neck. Inhaling as you rise up to your flat back. Exhale, bending your knees, folding forward. And then inhale as you roll up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders and neck are last to come up, rolling back, hands forward, coming into Tadasana. And then let's just take a stroll to the top of our mat. You should be somewhere near the back of your space. Our toes are together, our ankles have a little bit of space in them. And let's inhale as we bring our hands up overhead. Exhale as we draw the palms down through midline, bending through our knees, folding forward. Once again, releasing our neck. And then inhale as we lift to a flat back. Exhale as we forward fold. And then take that right foot back, coming to our low lunge, untucking the knee and the heel, walking our hands up onto the right thigh, or left thigh. And then allowing ourselves to rock back and forward, feeling that stretch throughout the hip flexors. And just like before, if you have sensitivities in your knees, feel free to place a pillow or a blanket underneath there. And then the next time you come forward, allow yourself to pause in this movement, interlacing the hands behind us and opening through the chest. Maybe you gaze up, engaging through the abs. And then exhale, hands back onto the earth as we come down, flexing through the front foot. Feeling that stretch throughout the back of the left leg. Bending the knee, adding some movement here. Keeping a nice flex in the left toe. That'll really send the stretch all throughout the back of the leg here, activating in that space. And then let's come to a point of stillness where maybe your hand is on your toes, your ankle, maybe it's your shin. Breathing into the back of the leg here. And then rocking forward, coming up onto our low lunge. So tucking the back toe, rising up, and then stepping that back foot forward, coming into a forward fold. Inhaling for our halfway lift. Exhale as we fold forward. Inhale, rising up, arms overhead. Exhale, bringing hands to heart center. Let's do that on the other side. Inhale, bringing our arms up overhead. Exhale, bending forward, diving throughout the midline. And then on your next inhale, rising up to a flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Stepping with our left foot back, lowering the knee down, untucking that toe, walking our hands up. And then allowing ourselves that nice rock forward and back. Just feeling that stretch throughout the hip flexors on the left side. If you've been spending a lot of time sitting recently, maybe because it's too hot outside or frankly work has you sitting in front of the computer, this is a nice stretch because we're supported by the chair, and so that means that those muscles don't have to work. They get really tight and weak. So this is one way in which we're stretching. And then the next time you come to the front, hang out here, feel that stretch along the front of the left leg. Engaging throughout the core. I don't want everyone dumping forward, all sloppy. Nice adjustment. And then on your next exhale, press to straighten that front leg. And then bend and straighten as you send breath and movement to the back of that right leg. A nice flex toe here helps. And then come to a point of stillness, stretching throughout this flexed right leg, sending breath. And then releasing, walking down to the front of the mat, untucking that toe, and then stepping that left foot forward, coming into our forward fold. Inhale as we rise to a halfway lift. Exhale as we fold forward, releasing down here. And let's heel toe our feet out to about as wide as the mat. And I want your toes to be facing outward and your heels to be facing inwards. You're still having connection with the earth. And then just allow yourself to squat down, coming into a yogi squat here, malasana. And everyone's bodies is a little bit different. So if it would feel better for you, maybe your Achilles heel is a little tight, you can bring a piece of equipment and just place that underneath your booty as you lower down. Here's another option for you. You can see my toes are facing out. My elbows are pressing to the inner parts of my thigh. I'm just breathing here. You want to try to keep your chest up not leaning forward. And then on the next exhale, plant your hands down in front, rising up, bringing your toes back to center. And then slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Head and neck last to rise. Nice job. We're going to turn to the long side of our mat. So just take that giant step out here, arms out. And then on your next inhale, interlace your hands behind your back. And then maybe you stretch up. And then slowly bending your knees, allow yourself to fold forward. Bringing those interlaced hands up off of the back, releasing down forward. Imagining that the top of your head might someday make contact with your mat. Continuing to breathe here. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then release your hands down to the earth, coming up into a flat back in this position here. And then slowly bend your right knee, coming over to the right side, allowing the left leg to flip up, feeling that stretch on the inner thigh of the left leg. And then walking your hands over to the left side, crouching there, flipping up that right foot. Sending the breath into that inner right thigh. And then allow yourself to experiment going back and forth, side to side, feeling where that stretch needs a little bit more time and breath. And if it feels good, you might even continue that stretch with the top body, extending out. Let's do one more on both sides here. And then we'll meet back in the middle. Coming back into that position, that flat back, hands on the earth. And then bring your hands to your hips and start to bring heel toe, your feet in together till they're about hip width apart. You're imagining that nice flat back that we talked about, that 90-degree angle here. And then bending your knees, coming into a chair pose. Nice and strong here. Inhaling and exhaling, taking notice of where your shoulders are. Are they up towards your ears? Allow them to drop down. And maybe for some of us, that means that you take your hands out to a cactus, a goalpost, so that opens up that space in the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, allow yourself to lift up. Exhale as you fold forward. And then inhale as you slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Head, neck, and shoulders lifting up, looking forward. Nice job. From here, we're going to come back to the front of the mat and then just allow yourself to squat down, working your way to a seated position. We're going to come into a Baddha Konasana. So I'm going to have you put the soles of your feet together. And then on your inhale, you're going to lift up, expanding throughout the spine and chest. And exhale as you start to make your way forward, looking out maybe 2 feet beyond your mat. And then eventually releasing the back of the neck. Sending breath into the inner thighs, the lower back, the shoulders and neck. Any point that you're feeling tension in this pose. And the next inhale, releasing up, coming up, helping the thighs move in together and rolling yourself back, knees into chest, and rock back and forth. It should feel nice on the lower spine. Maybe take some circles. And then plant your feet down onto the earth. We're going to come into a couple bridge poses before ending our time together. So plant your hands down onto the earth, the feet as well, nice and parallel with the hips. And on your next inhale, press down into the earth with the feet, sending your hips up to the sky, making sure that you continue to look upwards. I don't want you looking right and left because that risks injury to your cervical spine and your neck. Breathing here, imagining the strength that you're sending into the butt, the hamstrings, the thighs, the abs, and then lowering down with an exhale, bringing your knees into your chest. Once again, rocking back and forth or drawing circles, whatever feels right for you today. And we'll take one more bridge here. So plant the feet down on the earth. And then on your next inhale, press into the earth with your feet, sending your hips to the sky. Maybe you interlace your hands underneath. And imagine that you have a basketball in between your thighs. You're squeezing them together, engaging throughout the core. Once again, looking up, not all around. And then lower down on your next exhale, bringing the knees into your chest, rocking back and forth. And then let's bring the knees in and then slowly take them over to the right while the top body remains on the earth. Maybe you take that left hand out to the side, the right hand to the top of the stacked knees. And if it's available for you, feel free to close your eyes, or maybe you just have a soft gaze. Remembering the breath is there, allowing it to fill any of those points of tension. And then on your next inhale, help your knees come back into center, bringing the knees close into the chest and just rolling out the ankles here. And then roll the ankles the other way. And then knees back into the chest. And then on your next exhale, allow them to roll over to the left side, keeping that right side firmly rooted on the earth. Left hand can stack on top of your knees. Right hand is down on the earth, encouraging that right shoulder to find its ground. Breathing here. And on your next inhale, help your knees back into the center. And then slowly allow your feet to stretch out in front of you. Hands coming out to your side, palms facing up. And just take a couple breaths here as we find our spot within Shavasana. Closing the eyes, feeling the earth beneath you, supporting you. And let's take an inhale together through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Once more, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling audibly. Rest here. And just like all of our classes, know that I'm watching the time and the space so that you can just relax, absorbing the practice. Start to send some movement into your fingers and your toes, lengthening your inhale and your exhale, rolling out through your wrists and your ankles. And then stretch your arms up overhead, stretching your toes out. Inhaling, expanding and lengthening, and then exhale, releasing. And then finding your way onto the right side of your body. Maybe your knees come into your chest. Resting here for a breath or two. And then pressing down into the earth with that top left hand, slowly rising up, head and neck coming up last. Feel free to allow your eyes to remain closed or with a soft gaze. Come to that comfortable seated position. Hands come to heart center. A slight tilt downwards of your chin. And just allowing yourself the gratitude for coming to your mat today. Just absorbing the practice and recognizing how you feel after our time together. And if you'd like, feel free to join me on an inhale for Om. Let's inhale together. Bringing our knuckles up to our third eye, that position between our eyebrows, and then bowing forward, sealing our time together. Thanking yourself for joining the mat, joining in on this practice. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.